am Kasey Gaylord-Opalewski, and I'm from Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida. I almost forgot where I was from. We're going to talk about some shark sightings in North Dakota recently this year, and I want to thank my colleague Dave for kind of introducing the whole concept of what I'm also going to talk about, which is interactive distance learning, which the Aquarium of the Pacific also does. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I'm from North Dakota, so sometimes sharks are sighted there thanks to distance learning. So at Mote Marine Laboratory, we do have a program called Sea-Trek Interactive. We've been doing this program since 1996. We're kind of old hats at it. I don't want to say stole the concept from the Jason Project, but we took what the Jason Project used to do and applied it on a smaller scale using interactive video conferencing units. Mote Marine Laboratory is in Southwest Florida, about 60 miles south of Tampa, and we virtually deliver programs all over the world. Our only constraints are time zones. So basically, we were funded back in the late 90s and the early 2000s with Technology Literacy Challenge Fund grants, and we took our programming into the classrooms. Locally, Florida schools, but over the past 10 years, we've reached over 100,000 people with this technology. Now, we are very adamant at Mote Marine Laboratory, just like Dave talked about the Aquarium of the Pacific, of kind of coming out, being larger than life using this technology. You're not in the classroom, so there's lots of challenges. You don't have control of what's happening. So we were very adamant back in the day of only 30, 40 students per classroom. But times are a-changing, and we need to be forced to change with them, unfortunately. Over the past year, we have had a huge growth spurt in Sea-Trek Interactive at Mote Marine Laboratory. We are being forced basically to change with growing technology. So my colleague Jason Robertshaw and I have definitely had to think outside of the box. We'd have to get out of our comfort zone. We just recently received some funding to upgrade to a high-definition studio, which still allows us to connect over robust systems that can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 per unit, but we're also forced to go the cheap route. Everybody knows what Skype is, right? Yeah, it's really accessible, really affordable. A lot of people use it, even to connect with their families. So we resisted this change, but we had to go there. So with our new studio, fortunately, my colleague Jason is kind of the brains behind the operation. He figured out how to get across this new cheap and free medium because there are thousands of students out there waiting to connect, hungry for content. So we've been searching and searching for funding to not only upgrade our studio so we can connect over different types of technology, but also to bring the oceans to the classroom for free or at a very reduced rate. So last year we were fortunate enough to receive some funding from a local foundation to bring our programs into Florida schools, which oddly we have a challenge getting our programs into Florida schools. Our top customers live in New York, New Jersey, Texas, things like that. Also, there's something new called Google Connected Classrooms. Google Connected Classrooms is basically Google's version of Skype. I had a little commercial here, it's not working, that's all right. So last year, in 2014, we joined Google Connected Classrooms for something called EarthCast. It happens on Earth Day, and we brought sharks live into the classroom. We have a program called Sharks Alive, and we talk about how we train our sharks at Mote Marine Laboratory, what we're doing while we're training our sharks, why it's important to train the sharks. We also talk about the research that happens at Mote Marine Laboratory, because that is what we're first and foremost known for, is our marine research, especially shark research. We also took this opportunity to think really outside of the box. With distance learning programs, you have to be somewhat scripted. We all know this as educators. You want to get from point A to point B. Hopefully it'll all go off without a hitch. But we've been taking this opportunity to be a little bit more flexible in our own everyday lives and try some new stuff. And this new innovative programming, for example, up there I had tentacles. That was something we did in October. We're like, let's try a squid dissection. We know Aquarium of the Pacific does it. They're on the other coast. Let's try and hit the the East Coast with some squid dissections, and it worked. So every month we stream a live program over Google Connected Classrooms. It's a Google Hangout on air. Anybody can watch it. You can log on to YouTube to watch it, or if you have a Google Plus account, you can actually be an interactive site. We can see and hear you. You can even chat in the chat box. These free programs created so much traction that our normal customers have said, hey, can you do squid dissections for us? We'll pay you extra. Yes. Also, it's created traction to get our programs out there for free. And we featured things like our high school interns talking about the spotted eagle ray research that they do. We are now featuring ocean experts once a month for free, streaming live. And so this has been a really positive impact. We're looking forward to this new year. We're kicking off the fall a little bit early in August with something called Shark Days at Mote, kind of bringing real sharks, real science out there. So look for free Google Hangouts on air featuring some of our shark scientists like Dr. Nick Whitney and Dr. Heather Marshall, and get connected. Let's get some shark sightings in your hometown.